يتعلموا دينهم وأن يتفقهوا في دينه. كل واحد من الرجال والنساء عليه يتفقه في دينه، عليه يتعلم ما لا يسعه جهله، هذا واجب، لأنك مخلوق لعبادة الله، ولا طريق إلى معرفة العبادة ولا سبيل إليها إلا بالله، ثم بالتعلم والتفقه في الدين. الواجب على المكلفين جميعا أن يتفقهوا في الدين وأن يتعلموا ما لا يسعهم جهله، كيف يصلون، كيف يصومون، كيف يزكون، كيف يحجون، كيف يأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر، كيف يعلمون أولادهم، كيف يتعاونون مع أهليهم، كيف يدعون ما حرم الله عليهم، يتعلمون. يقول النبي الكريم عليه الصلاة والسلام: من يريد الله به خيرا يفقهه في الدين.
بالعلم بل بالأدب تنال أعلى الرتب، فعش حياة العلماء وقرأ صنوف الكتب، ودم على تواضع لا تفتخر بالنسب، كفاك أن تخرج من دنيا الورى بالحسب.
يا طالبا للعلم يرجو نفعه، اسمع نصيحة ناصح معواني، أخلص لربك في أمورك كلها، فالمخلصون هم أولو العرفان. فالجهد في جمع العلوم يضيع إن حل الرياء دواخل الإنسان، واحفظ زمانك رأس مالك إنه هبة العظيم الواحد المنان. ساعات يومك منحة ذهبية والناس بين الربح والخسران، وعليك بالخلق الكريم مع التقى، وعليك بالأدب الرفيع الشان، واحفظ كتاب الله واستمسك به، فالعلم كل العلم في القرآن، واطلب صغار العلم قبل كباره، واحفظ متون العلم بالإتقان. وإذا طلبت العلم فاعرف قدره، وأت البيوت أخي من البيبان، جالس شيوخ العلم وانهل منهم، واظفر أخي بالعالم الرباني، واحفظ وداد الشيخ صاح، فإنه بعد الأبوة في المقام الثاني، من لم يوقر شيخه أستاذه آلت عواقبه إلى الخذلان. واعمل بعلمك في شؤونك كلها، واشغل زمانك في رضا الرحمن، وأمر بمعروف وحارب منكرا، كن ناصحا للناس كل زمان. وإذا بلغت من العلوم نصابها أد الزكاة أخي بلا كتمان، علم مريدا للعلوم وقل له يا مرحبا بوصية العدناني، صلى عليه الله ما فاح الشذا دوما بريح المسك والريحان، صلى عليه الله ما فاح الشذا دوما بريح المسك والريحان.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الحمد لله الذي جعل للعلم أصولا وسهل بها إليه وصولا، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ما بينت أصول العلوم وسلم عليه وعليهم ما أبرز من منطوق منها والمفهوم. أما بعد, tonight is the 18th of Jumad al-Awwal of the year 1443 since Hijrat al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, which translates into the 22nd of December of the Gregorian calendar 2021. I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal to make this night a blessed night, and all of the brothers and sisters, I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal to make them mubarakeen in themselves and in their families. We continue our commentary on this concise book titled Al-Adab Al-Ashara, the Ten Aadab of Islam. The author is Sheikh Salih ibn Abdullah ibn Hamad al-Usaymi, waffaqahu Allah wa hafidhah. He is one of the senior scholars and a teacher in both Masjid al-Haram in Mecca and al-Masjid al-Nabawi in al-Madinah. We had already commented on the first three adab, namely adab al-salam and adab al-ta'am and adab al-istidhan, and tonight inshallah we're going to be talking about the fourth adab بإذن الله تبارك وتعالى. نعم تفضل.
بسم الله وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد. اللهم اغفر لنا وللحاضرين وللمشاهدين وللمستمعين ولجميع المسلمين. قال المصنف وفقه الله: الرابع: تكلم بطيب القول في خير واخفض صوتك متمهلا في حديثك وأنصت لمن كلمك مقبلا عليه ولا تقاطع ولا تتقدم بين يدي الأكبر بالكلام.
جزاك الله خيرا. So as we said, المصنف Sheikh Salih al-Usaymi حفظه الله ووفقه, he said that this is the fourth adab, and he said الرابع, which means that this is the fourth adab from those 10 adab that he talked about in this book. And this fourth adab is about adab al-kalam, which is the manners of how to talk, right? How to talk to others, how to the manners of how to speak and talk to others. And there are 7 matters that are related, 7 masail, 7 matters that relate to this particular adab. We're going to start with the quick translation of this fourth adab, and then we'll talk about those matters. He said, تكلم بطيب القول في خير. Speak with only that speech that is طيب, that is good. في خير, in that which has goodness. واخفض صوتك, and lower your voice. متمهلا في حديثك, talking slowly in your speech. وأنصت لمن كلمك, and listen attentively to whom is speaking to you or who's talking to you. مقبلا عليه, meaning being attentive with him and coming toward him with your face and with your heart. We're going to talk about all of that obviously. ولا تقاطع, and do not interrupt him, do not interrupt the person who's talking to you. ولا تتقدم بين يدي الأكبر بالكلام, and do not interject with your speech in the middle of the speech of somebody who is bigger from the aspect of either age or status. الأكبر, either from the aspect of the age, he's older than you, or in status he is more senior than you while they're talking, right? So don't talk over their speech or at the same time as they are, if they happen to be akbar sinnan or akbar qadran, whether they are older than you in age or more senior than you in status. This is the general translation of this adab. Like we said, there are 7 matters inshallah. The first one is in his saying تكلم بطيب القول في خير. الطيب, he said تكلم, speak with طيب القول. طيب القول is القول الطيب, طيب القول is really القول الطيب. What is الطيب من القول or القول الطيب? الطيب is the pure. Is the pure that is free from anything that is bad or evil. يعني that is free from الخبث. From الخبث, from the evil speech or from the bad speech. This is الطيب. في خير يعني in that which is خير. Talk with pure speech that is free from evil and bad, and يعني in that which is good. الخير is what is recommended in the Sharia or in the urf, يعني in the tradition of the people. In the tradition of the people that is يعني recommended or that is praiseworthy, that does not contradict الشريعة or does not يعني violate الشريعة. This is what is خير. الخير is what the Sharia recommends and tells us that this is خير, right? Or what is يعني from the traditions of people. And the servant, that is me and you, we are ordered in our speech with two things that are taken from the famous hadith and the important hadith and the comprehensive hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, which is related in both Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim from hadith Abi Hurayrah radiyallahu anh, where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyaqul khayran aw liyasmut." Whoever believes in Allah and in the hereafter, then let him speak that which is khair, or let him remain silent. فَلْيَصْمُتْ from samt, يعني remaining silent. فَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرًا, then let him say good, or let him يعني be silent. So these are the two things that we are ordered to observe, in our speech. Every Muslim is ordered to observe these two matters in their speech. If they have something that is good, khair, to say, then by all means say it. فَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرًا, which is what Shaykh Waffaqahullah said. في خير, يعني in that which is good. Or let him remain silent. So whenever we speak, we have to think about it. Is this khair? If it is khair, then say it, no problem. فَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرًا. Or if it is not, then remain silent. Then don't speak, right? Because we are ordered to preserve and to protect our speech from anything that is other than khair. If it is evil, if it is bad, then we shouldn't actually use this mouth and use the tongue and move it and utter other than that which is khair. This is the first matter. The second matter is in his saying, وَخْفِضْ صَوْتَكَ. He said, وَخْفِضْ صَوْتَكَ, meaning lower your voice. Because a sawt, which is the voice, is really the carrier, if you wish. It is the carrier that carries your speech to communicate to others, right? So the voice is what actually carries your speech or whatever you want to say to the others. And lowering the voice is by making it يعني just enough for the others to hear it and not يعني speak loudly or يعني raise your voice. This is from Al-Adab. Not to raise your voice, but rather lower your voice in a way that يعني is just the right voice or level that makes the other party or parties be able to hear you. The third matter is in his saying متمهلا في حديثك. متمهلا في حديثك, يعني talking slowly, talking in a reasonable pace, right? Talking in a reasonable pace. So if you talk, then what is masnoon is to actually talk يعني at a reasonable pace or slowly, and not to talk very rapidly and quickly. And this is from التأني, يعني from being يعني reasonable in your speech, so that when you speak, then the words and the statements come out يعني clearly and being able to be understood from the other people. Because this is the purpose of speaking, right? When you speak, then you have to speak in a reasonable pace that the others are able to follow and be able to be understood by the others and be comprehended by others, right? Otherwise, if they're not able to follow through what you're saying, or they're not able to comprehend, then what's the point, right? So this is from Adab al-Kalam. And the benefit of actually talking in a reasonable pace is actually two benefits. The first one is to actually you're able to gauge the speech before you utter it out, right? If you're talking too quickly and if you're talking too rapidly, then you really don't have time to kind of gauge, is this something good that I should say it, or is this something that is not good and I should change it or remain silent, right? You don't have time. And subhanAllah, this is actually something that a lot of people fall into, right? They're talking so quickly, and some people have difficulty understanding them. And what is even worse is in the situation where, for example, somebody is addressing people, like for example, Al-Khatib on the day of Jumu'ah, right? Some people have difficulty understanding certain khutbah, right? They talk just too quickly, too rapid. People can't follow or comprehend for that matter. Or they're not very clear in their speech, right? And this is a terrible thing. So the first one is it gives you, the speaker, enough opportunity to kind of gauge and weigh what you're gonna say, so that you only speak that which is good. And the other benefit is, like I said, for the listeners, for the other party to be able to يعقلون, to be able to understand and comprehend what you're saying and what you're addressing them with. So this is the third matter. The fourth matter is in his statement, وَأَنصِتْ لِمَنْ كَلَّمَكَ. Now, this is the other side. If somebody is talking to you, so we're done with where you are addressing other people. Now, if somebody is talking to you, and this is the fourth matter, he said, وَأَنصِتْ لِمَنْ كَلَّمَكَ, and listen to whomever is talking to you. And this is, subhanAllah, one of the great aspects of Adab al-Kalam. In other words, Shaykh Wafaqahullah is saying that if somebody is talking to you, then you should listen attentively, and you should also being attentive not only with your body by being facing him and directing your limbs and your body and your facial expression at him, but also being attentive in the heart, because the heart is really the part of your body that comprehends. If you're with your face facing them, but your heart is really busy with something else, you're not going to be able to understand what you're saying. And this is not from Adab al-Kalam. If somebody is addressing you, then you should also inwardly and outwardly, inwardly with your heart and outwardly with your face and your body, you should actually تتوجه. You actually should direct yourself both inward and outward to the person who is talking to you. And subhanallah, how often this creates problems and creates some kind of ill feeling between people, and even, to be frank with you, enmity, when you're talking to somebody and they're being so inattentive to you. You just you get the feeling like, why isn't he respecting me? Why isn't he paying attention, right? Or sometimes you say salam to somebody and they reply, they don't even turn their face to you. I hear it I hear it all the time. People get offended by that. So this is why it is from Adab al-Kalam, because it goes a long way along strengthening this relationship and this this brotherhood among the Muslim and among the believers. And this is from the adab. Again, this is from the adab, to actually listen attentively to the person who's talking to you. And that is why you notice that Shaykh Wafaqahullah, he used the word ansit from al-insat, and he didn't say wasma' from al-sama', because there are two things. Al-insat that he's referring to is actually a little higher. It is actually a degree that is higher than just merely listening. And this is what Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said in the ayah of Surah Al-A'raf. He said, وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنصِتُوا. فَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنصِتُوا. And so when the Quran is recited, then listen to it and be silent and pay attention that you may receive mercy. لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. So what we're supposed to do when the Quran is recited to us, right? Whether in the salah, and this is the most obvious case and the most important case, right? Or outside of the salah, for example, in the loud prayers, right? Salawat al-Jahriyah, like Fajr, Maghrib, Isha, etc. Then what we're supposed to listen and to pay attention and not to be busy with something else that will keep us away and inattentive away from Al-Quran. But rather we should pay attention and be silent and listen attentively to Al-Quran. So hence al-insat. And this is what he's referring to. وَأَنصِتْ لِمَنْ كَلَّمَكَ. So you should actually listen attentively. So there are two. So again, to summarize, there are two levels. There is al-istima', which is to listen to the speaker. But that could be without much attentiveness. Well, insat is actually to listen, but then there is actually a little extra beyond that, which is to actually free yourself from talking to others and free yourself from any distraction, and be silent and be attentive, right? And being attentive to the speaker. And this is what we are supposed to do. So al-insat is a higher level than al-sama'. So there is a sama' and there is al-insat, which is at a higher level. And to remember this, so not every sama' is insat, because insat is higher. So not every sama' is insat, but every insat is sama' and more, right? And there's this extra characteristic of being attentive on top of listening, because you could listen with the ears, but it's not going anywhere. You're not comprehending, you're not understanding, because you're busy with something else. The fifth matter is when he said مُقْبِلًا عَلَيْهِ. So in addition to being attentive, listen attentively, but also with your face and with your body, you actually facing them and coming close to them, or being directed to them. مُقْبِلًا عَلَيْهِ, يعني from al-iqbal, upon the person who is talking to you. So this is with the outward parts of the body, with your face, looking at him, facing him with your face and with the rest of your limbs and the rest of your body. And this is to give him his right upon you, which is when they talk to you, then you should actually face them and be looking at them. This is from their right upon you, right? This is from the right of your fellow Muslim speaker who is speaking to you or talking to you. And like I said, this actually really kind of increase the kindness and the compassion between the Muslim. And really the most perfect level of al-iqbal, we said muqbilan alayh, right? So the most perfect iqbal or level of al-iqbal is really when you actually when the inward is reflecting the outward, right? When the inward is reflecting the outward, being both directed toward the speaker and facing them. The sixth matter is where he said وَلَا تُقَاطِعْهُ. He said وَلَا تُقَاطِعْهُ, do not interrupt him. Do not interrupt him. And interruption in the speech is when you actually start talking over their speech, right? Before they conclude their statement, before they conclude their idea or what they are trying to express. It could be multiple statements. So when you interrupt them before they are done with what they want to say, before they conclude what they want to say, this is what it is meant by interruption. And if you interrupt, really you didn't give them the opportunity to really kind of clarify what they want to say, right? So it is not clear because they were cut midway, right, or somewhere while they are where they were expressing themselves. So he said, do not interrupt them. And this is from Adab al-Kalam. This is from Adab al-Kalam, not to interrupt somebody who's talking to you. You know, you let them finish and then you talk. And by the way, this, subhanAllah, this happens a lot, especially when people, for example, are debating or are, yani, if you wish, disputing, or yani, they're facing off, if you wish. Could be between husband and wife, could be between disputing people. And subhanAllah, it's just a bad thing to do when, you know, people don't let the others finish what they want to say. You know, like I said, it happens a lot, and this is not from Adab al-Kalam. Both parties should always allow the other side to finish what they say, and then they be given opportunity to take their turn and talk. The seventh and the last matter related to this, and this is the last one really, which is he's saying ولا تتقدم بين يدي الأكبر بالكلام. يعني do not يعني talk while somebody who is higher than you, and by this akbar, what we mean is either elder, yani he is older than you, or he is more senior in status than you. Because Shari'at al-Islam, from its beauty and from its perfectness and from its completeness, from being perfect and complete, it actually yani, preserved and guaranteed the right of the one who is kabir, yani akbar, who is either older or more senior. It guaranteed their right to be given precedence and higher priority in speech, right? So they are to be allowed to speak first, right, before you actually speak before them. And it is not mashru' in the Sharia, and it is not from the adab to actually talk before them or talk over their speech while they're talking. And like we said, the akbar is either in age, يعني they are older than you, or whether they are more senior, like for example, you know, they have a status, or they are from the people of knowledge, they are more senior than you in knowledge, they are more senior in you in position or status, then we are to observe that, and they should also always be given يعني priority in talking, and not to be يعني not to race in speech against them and يعني come in first or while they're talking. And like again, this is يعني to guarantee, and this is from respecting their right that the Sharia has given them. And in the hadith sahih which is related by Imam al-Bukhari from hadith Sahl ibn Abi Hathma, he narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in a rather long hadith, but in it, you know, several from Sahaba came and they were disputing in front of him. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when, you know, the younger started to talk first, he said, Kabbir, Kabbir. He said, Kabbir, Kabbir. Yani, let the eldest of you speak. Let the eldest speak first. And this is yani, from what is mashru' in Sharia, and this is from what is yani, sunnah and adab al-kalam, to always give precedence and to give priority to the one who is older or more senior. So if we know, for example, if we are, let's say, in a gathering, in a majlis, or, you know, in a party, if we know that there is somebody who is older or who has a more senior status, then they should be given the chance to talk first before the younger or the less or the more junior or the less senior be allowed to speak. This is what relates to adab al-salam, or I'm sorry, adab al-kalam rather, the adab that relates to speaking and listening. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decorate us with al-adab and al-akhlaq. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. أسأل الله لي ولكم العلم النافع والعمل الصالح والإخلاص في القول والعمل والاعتقاد. هذا والله أعلم، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.